want to talk a little bit like regular season awards and stuff real quick before. I just want to see what you think.
I think the regular season awards are going to be more or less kind of. I think that the main ones people care about, like MVP and most improved player are going to be, a little bit of controversy just because there's going to be a lot of people's opinions going into them.
Right.
Me, I said it halfway through the season. I'll say it right now. For me, the league MVP is Nikola Jokic. I don't see how you
not Chris Paul.
No.
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing.
I love my man CP, man, but there's just
I'm playing. There's so many good talent right now.
There's just levels
all positions.
There's just levels, and for what CP can do at this particular time, don't get me wrong, okay? He's averaging a lot he's doing a lot, he's done. I think he's like 18 and 11 or 18 and 12, something like that. Those are cool numbers, but we're playing in a league in a year in a time where those numbers aren't impressive because dudes who aren't even the best player on their team are getting those kind of numbers. So as much as Chris Paul's impact is being felt on a team outside of his stats, I can't just to do that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. So for me, it's still Nikola Jokic because simply the man's averaged 27, 11, and 8.
Right.
Third in the West. The man's missed one game this season. He's doing it without his co-star Paul Murray. And he's doing it in the West. Not to mention, his team was out of the playoffs earlier in the year, and he had to fight.
He had to dig his team back in, basically.
And he did it. And
I respect him.
He's getting.
I do.
I think if he wasn't European, just being flat out, if he wasn't European, he would have been getting a lot more praise throughout this. Well, European and playing in Denver. He's a European and playing in Denver.
Yeah,
if he was in Miami or not even some place like super.
Even like Dallas.
He was in Dallas, Houston. If he was in Orlando, like if he was somewhere there's a little like kind of buzz. I don't think it's really.
I agree.
I don't think people would be talking about this every day on sports radio shows because Embiid didn't play enough games to keep that lead. James Harden didn't play enough games. In the games he did play, he had a bunch of them where he was just bull jiving in the beginning with Houston, so we can't consider him. Steph Curry came on hard, strong, late in the playoffs. Late in the regular season, averaging 30. I think he's averaging like 31, 5 and 5. Those are great numbers. Fighting for that playoff spot. Okay, are we gonna talk about your team is MVP? Do you consider where your team is positioned? That's personal. For me,
they're playing team right now,
and I'm giving equal credit. Obviously, Jokic has a little bit better team if we're just talking purely
talent-wise. Yeah, talent.
But if we're talking, both teams had the Denver Nuggets were racked with COVID and injuries throughout the year, so he hasn't had an easy time getting to where he is either. So I can't just diminish that and say, okay, well, Curry had nobody, Jokic had a few people. Jokic was doing it with a bunch of nobodies for a while. His running with his guard Campazzo, like, come on, bro, nobody's even heard of him. Shout out to him though for believing in himself, making it to the league in his 30s. That's hard. He's good for that. But
I gotta respect somebody like that.
So, and I think he's just a clear cut winner for me. If in that aspect, I think if you're going most improved player, it's got to be Julius Randle.
Julius Randle has made a tremendous job.
You're telling me it's anyone but Julius?
The team and everything.
Julius Randle has become a player where I sit now as a fan and be like, I know exactly what he's doing, and that's crazy because he's going left. If he puts it on his man, he's stepping to the side, he's shooting that left. It's just like Jokic's like his little mid range where he just leans to the side and just shoots over it and just leans. I'm like, how do you guard that, bro? Like what is it? What even is that? He'll literally have to ball over his shoulder and just throw it. And I'm like, yo, how do you guard that? But nah, Julius Randle has. I've seen Julius Randle. If you've seen Julius Randle's highlights from him in high school, this is what we expected Julius Randle to be in high school. Like this is the player that when Julius Randle got to Kentucky, you expect Julius Randle to end up being this player because this is what he was. This is what he's talented at. Like this is what he's capable of. How are you going to stop somebody that's that strong? That's a lefty with ball
No, for real, bro.
that can dribble. Like how do you can't guard a strong lefty? Like I'm sorry, you can't do it, and that's why he's having fun with it, and he's having his way with teams and opposing teams' offenses and defenses because you can't really. How do you game plan against a 6'7", 235?
He's a tank. He's a tank. He's a tank, bro.
Like his size is just because his size is kind of a mismatch because if you put a really big person on him, he's probably too tall, can't guard the ball handling, and if you put one of your smaller small forwards on him, they can't keep up with him size wise in the post. He's gonna just do what he does, and if he gets a step, he's quick. He gets a step, and if you're on the side of him, whatever side he's using. That arm is you're not reaching over that arm he's putting up and contesting a shot, So right. I'm very happy to see the progression of Julius Randle this year. Much improved, much deserved, man. I mean, we've seen spurts of this, back when he's playing with the Pelicans, even a little bit with the Lakers. So it's great that he's, reached the next level of his potential in the NBA. Right, I would say this is max, but this is just another step in the journey. So most definitely props to him. Coach of the year. I gotta be biased. I'm going Monty Williams.
I'm going Monty too, bro. Your guys' team is solid right now, bro.
Now props to Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder did a great job this year. Y'all do that every year, so I'm not on your wave right now. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau. You definitely should. If we could do
he's up there too, though. Yeah, Tom Thibs is up there.
If he was co-coach, I would do Monty and Tom because. Monty's in his second year. Tom, I believe, is in his first year, and have that kind of impact in your first year.
To flip from a no contention to being a 4 seed, like what?
That's definitely coach of the year.
Great.
That's worthy of coach of the year. So I really wouldn't be mad if they didn't give it to Monty to give it to Tom because just on merits, Tom did do that, and I think that'd be really huge for Tom as just a resurgence of his career because he gets a lot of flack for the way he uses players, the players' health,
minutes, and runs players
back. But the one thing with Tom is that Tom is going to get the best out of his players. That's why you get Tom Thibodeau. Like you're gonna whatever players you have, you're gonna get the best out of them, and he's gonna use basically everything they have. And where the chips fall, where the chips fall. Whether they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. But that Tom and the team gave the best shot they did. So. Definitely could see that going to Tom Thibodeau. I think that Nate McMillan needs to get a nod. He needs to get a few votes. Obviously, I don't see him winning it completely because he didn't have a whole season. He's not going to win it, but he needs to get at least a few
some credit and respect.
He needs some respect for what he did this year. That's not very easy to do, especially when the Pacers chose to move on without you, and you're actually doing better with the team you're doing now than they were doing.
That's crazy.
So definitely props to him. Obviously we love to see black men in power positions doing well and hopefully keep to retain their jobs. Especially in cities where we have such a strong population,
high demographic of people.
DPOY. I feel like this one's gonna go to Ben,
bro. If Gobert gets to the end, bro, I'm going crazy, bro. I'm going stupid, bro. I'm going dumb, bro.
They don't love him like that. They're not giving it to him again. And he don't got love like that around the league.
He really don't. Shaq hates him, but I mean that don't matter. But I swear, bro, it has to be. I think Bam or I think Bam Adebayo would be fair.
I think that
there's a couple other guys too, though.
Bam, Ben, Giannis. Yeah, I think it's coming out of the East. To just be honest, I think it's whoever's winning is coming out of the East.
Yeah, I mean that's the grit and grind more so the physical shit. Yeah,
I feel like Bam definitely has a case and probably could win it. I don't think that Bam has enough of a fan base or people really appreciate his defense. His ability.
If he's favored by coaches, he may be able to win.
He might be. But then again, I also I see the way coaches look at Ben Simmons and the way they view that physical specimen, the way he can guard 1 through 5. Because Ben Simmons is clamps. He's
agile. He can move.
I mean, but then again, sometimes If we're talking defense, I'm gonna give just a quick little shout out to Matisse Thybulle for just being one. He low key could be the best defensive player on that team in the next 2 years.
He's a good piece for Philadelphia for sure.
He's a great piece. But I would love to see Bam get it. I would absolutely love to see that. Definitely,
that would be good.
Nigerian being prosperous, but I really don't know where that's gonna go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just because I feel like the MVP. There's a lot of different reasons and excuses for why you would go for certain guys, wouldn't go for certain guys. I feel like with DPOY, each of those guys we're talking about all can do relatively the same things. They may do one thing, like Bam is better at shot blocking than Bam is better at stealing than Bam. You know what I'm saying? You got trade-offs here and there, but they all I'm not sure if you said, you got to pick one right now. Who do you want to play defense with and lock somebody up? I don't know who to pick. I need to know who I'm going to be guarding. Obviously, if it's going to be a big, I might go and get Giannis because that's a big. But if you tell me Bam or Ben, I'm happy with either pick. Because those are both DPOY candidates. So I really don't have a pick for that one yet. I'm gonna leave that one undecided. I'm gonna just let that one comes out.
Man of the year, Jordan Clarkson.
No question. It's no question. There is no question. If you tell me anyone else is in discussion, you're lying.
JC has been hooping.
He has to win that. He has to.
JC has been going crazy, man. I'm telling y'all, bro.
Fire starter, man. What did he put up? 41 points with 0 assists.
JC has been going crazy, man. Like I said, he's been doing his stuff this year. He's been doing his stuff this year. It's not really a lot of other guys that can really. I mean, Derrick Rose. There's other guys, bro. I'm not gonna.
Former Lakers, man.
Yep.
Moving all over the league.
Julius Randle's gonna win an award. Jordan Clarkson's gonna win an award. Come on, bro. D-Lo's been an all-star. Yeah, D-Lo's been an all-star.
Hey, man.
Talent shit, bro. It's fine.
Talent, man. It's just true, bro. It's true. But
yeah,
no, I'm really happy for JC though, because he definitely had
his career is doing good now, and that's good.
He's in a place where his talents are actually being used and appreciated. Because I remember watching once he left the Lakers. Watching JC on the Cavs was appalling.
Oh yeah, because he can't play with Bron.
It was let the man cook. But then every time he was trying to cook, they was always trying to defer to somebody.
Give the ball back. Give the ball back. Yeah. So
give the ball to Larry Nance. So it was like, bro, come on, man, let the man cook. And then they didn't want to let him start. I was like, yeah, no, they're definitely hating.
He gotta go. Yeah, he gotta go.
But no, he's got a great role with Utah. Also, shout out to Joe Ingles, because he's also a 6 man of the year candidate. He's not getting it over JC, but you definitely need props as well, because Utah wouldn't be as successful as they were right now if Joe Ingles wasn't come off the bench. You realize that Joe Ingles used to start for this team, bro, and now Joe Ingles is coming off the bench. I really didn't think about how big of a deal that was over the summer when they signed. What is the European dude's name? It's not Bogdanovich, bro. It's one of those this similar last names, bro. I know who I'm thinking of. Number
Ilyasova?
Nah, not Ilyasova.
I'm looking right now, bro. There's a couple of. Who are you thinking of?
Him starting because he's been hooping. Him starting and allowing Joe to come off the bench has been crazy. Oh yeah. Bojan Bogdanovich.
Yeah, because there's Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell when healthy, Bojan Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal's at the 4, and then you got Rudy Gobert at the 5. So yeah.
Yeah, but Bogdanovich starting because Bogdanovich he could probably start on pretty much any team in the league.
He's a plug and play guy. He's a real plug and play guy, bro. He's crafty. He's creative, very creative.
Solid offense. Solid, reliable offense. You know what you're kind of going to get from him every night. And then teams like that, that's everything that you need. Players like that. Right. So I'm excited, man. I definitely want to see how these awards go, obviously, because
for sure.
Our opinions are going to change throughout the playoffs, but these are regular season awards, which is why we're giving our opinions now. So we're not swayed before the playoffs start.
Yeah. But, live too, guys. Live you guys too. Live. So our fans everybody knows we ain't lying about this.
No, we just off the dome. This is just our what we've seen this year. And
before.
We would vote if we got a choice. You know what I'm saying? We got to say.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I totally agree with everything you said too, bro. Like the league has to. I think Jokic being the main guy, either Jokic or Embiid, because the center, like we talked about off air, bro. It's crazy. There's never been another center to win MVP since Shaq in '99, 2000. That is ridiculous to think about.
Yep.
We've seen great people. We've seen great centers, but just the level of play from that time frame to where we are now in the league, where it's dominant guard player, dominant, crafty swingmen like a Giannis, a LeBron, a KD.
I mean, just look at the comparison between
the comparatives.
We're talking about winning the last one in Shaq, and who we think is going to win this one in Jokic. Like,
he's a playmaker. He's a crafty playmaker, bro. Like, you gotta.
Their styles are the complete opposite. Shaq couldn't do nothing Jokic is doing, and Jokic couldn't play like Shaq. But somehow they're both going to end up being league MVPs at the same position, and that's just the beauty of the game, because there is no one way to play the game. You have to use you have to maximize your skills. You have to maximize your ability to benefit for the team. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what you're good at, what you're not good at. Obviously, Jokic isn't fast, isn't athletic, can't jump over nobody, but he can shoot from just about anywhere on the court and has better vision than most of his guards on the team. You see that. That's not something you see very often. So it's just great to just appreciate like the different styles and ways people play the game, from the ISO to the team ball players. But before we wrap this up, I want to say shout out to a few players in the NBA right now. Shout out to LeBron for averaging 25 points per game for the last, I believe, 17 seasons, which is a complete record. I think that we don't give him enough credit for the ability to score that he does, because he's a pass first player. LeBron's always kind of been like a point forward. We always talk about how much he does for the game, rebounding and assisting, but the man has always been able to get buckets. And even though he may not be the most efficient, and he may not shoot, threes this way, he may not, but the man puts up the points and he gets wins. So shout out to LeBron for doing that. Shout out to Kyrie for being the 9th player all time to go 50, 40, 90, albeit with a shortened season. No, that's not. I'm not trying to put any disrespect. I'm just adding the facts to it. So shout out to him, because that's a crazy accomplishment to do. Obviously, only 9 players in all of league history have done it. KD did it back in 2013, 2014. So that's a really short list. So shout out to him. Shout out to a crazy random stat I ran into today. Shout out to Tony Snell, who was the first player in NBA history, first player in NBA history to go 50, 50, and 100 for this year. Shot 50% from the field, 50% from 3, and 100% from the free throw line.
Oh, damn!
First player ever do that. I didn't even know that was going to be possible.
That's wild to think about.
And it's Tony Snell. It's Tony Snell. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking fast. My bad.
I think that we might. That's a crazy stat as well. So shout out.
Wild. That's very wild. Mad respect.
Nobody's going to talk about that because obviously you're Tony Snell. But most definitely props to you, man, because that is something that was probably viewed as impossible until you did it. And even though you're not going to get a whole lot of props for doing it here on the TCU,
you got to show him respect, bro. Yeah, maybe you could be on our show one day. Talk about it.
So hey, we'll give you props for that, man. That's great, and we'll see if that record lasts as long as Big O's did with the triple-double. You never really know. Who knows?
Mad respect to Russell Westbrook too, bro. I mean, we've been talking about him the whole season, the whole year, but to surpass Big O, bro, and to be the all-time triple-double leader, bro, that is a huge accolade despite everything he's been through. I mean, we talked about it before, and the injuries and the setbacks, the teams, the position he's been in. For a guy to do that and to average a triple-double this season, again, that is just incredible. Yeah, incredible and amazing thing that I will forever respect from a guy like him, bro. For sure, most definitely. I don't care about that stat hiding crap. I don't care about none of that. Like, that is true, mad respect.
That's just hating, man. Like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta realize, you gotta recognize hate. Like, I remember when I remember when Steph Curry was becoming the bad man that he is right now, and I was in high school, and I look back on it right now, I was just a hater. I was just pure hate because I couldn't stand the way he ran around screens and shot threes and couldn't be guarded. And I was like, he's not playing the game. That's not fair. But that was just hate, man. That was just hate.
Right.
And most of the people that's talking about Russell Westbrook hasn't been out the first round and this, that, and the third, or hasn't done X, Y, Z. You're just hating. You're just hating. Like,
I respect the man, bro.
Every time, if we only just focus on Russell Westbrook and we don't talk about nothing else, yeah, you can take that opinion, but you got to remember that's not how it went down. That's not how it went down. My man was in Houston 1 year. Okay, he only got one run with Houston. You tell me Houston couldn't have gone to the conference finals and say at least if they have another year. Bro. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Like, you telling me that Westbrook was supposed to do something with young Oladipo? Come on, man.
Yeah, like, he wasn't ready. He was there, but he wasn't fully produced. Yeah,
it's still the West now. Let's not get it twisted.
Really
the West didn't change just because Kevin Durant left. The West was still the same, and Russell's doing it by himself. Now the Paul George Carmelo year, I'm putting all that on Russell Westbrook and Paul George, and a lot more on Scott Brooks. I'll let that. You can have that one, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But the other ones, I'm not going for that. Russell Westbrook is an all-time great. First ballot Hall of Famer.
No question.
I pray that he ends up being an NBA champion because that's the only thing he needs, man. Like, if Russ had an NBA
with this team.
If he had not with this team. But if he had an NBA championship, I don't feel like you would be able to tell him anything. Like, just being point blank honest. Like, I don't see why you would not be able to have that conversation for, one of the best point guards of all time. I really don't see why you wouldn't be able to because you got dudes like John Stockton in the conversation, 0 rings. You got dudes like Isaiah Thomas in the conversation, 2 rings. So if all you need to do is get in between 0 and 2, and that number is 1, you get 1, you in that conversation. I'm just being honest. Russell not getting it. He's not getting in that conversation with 0 rings. He's not getting there because he'd have to at least – because John only gets there because John was in the finals a couple times. That's why John gets a pass because he got there, even though he got mopped by Jordan. They give him a pass because it was Jordan. At least you got there. Russ, he got there one time. They consider that to be Kevin Durant's team. They're not going to give Russ credit for that. But if Russ gets back, it doesn't matter who he's playing with. I don't care if it's with Bradley or whoever. If Russ gets back and wins one, hey man, that'd be great because people forget that, like, people are so quick to hate on a player like Russell Westbrook and really just forget all these guys have stories. Russell was not a highly touted player coming out of high school. He was like a 3-star recruit, barely had any offers. The only reason Russell Westbrook even got to play at UCLA is because I believe Jordan Farmar didn't come back for his season. He chose not to come back.
He had to be moved up. Yeah, they moved him up.
And then Russ got the spot. And to take that opportunity that you weren't supposed to have and do what he's done with it and be a league MVP and be a guy who's the league leader in triple doubles from a guy who wasn't even going to be at that D1 university is insane. Like that
and it's UCLA too of all.
And that's why you hear Russ say, like I made it. Like I'm a winner. Like you can say what you want, but like
I made it out.
I'm a winner. Like I've done it. Like I got here, and that's people always want to take it to, oh, well, you didn't do the next thing. It was like, all right, you're talking about the next thing, but you keep diminishing everything I did to
great I've done so far.
Get to the next spot. It's not about getting to the next spot because at the last spot it was getting to the next spot. At the last spot, I was like, oh well, you can't play D1. That's D1. Oh well, you probably not gonna be that gunner guard on that level. You got there. Oh well, you're not gonna be no MVP. This KD team, KD league MVP, and now it's oh well, you can't use now you can do that. Yeah. You can't average a triple double all year. Oh word, I can't. Okay, I did it. And I did it again. And now I've done it 4 times in 5 years. And now y'all want to hate and say that I'm stat padding and that this stat's no longer cool. Why? Why is it no longer cool? Just because I've done it for 4 years out of 5? Because dudes are getting triple doubles now on a regular, but still can't piece it together like I can. Who else is getting triple doubles multiple times a week? Dudes will get it like once every couple months, once a month, man. You see Sabonis go out there and get him a little 20, 15, and 10, and that'll be his only triple-double for the month. Russ is averaging a triple-double each week, player of the week with 24 points.
Player of the month, all that stuff.
12 assists. Like, how do you average 15 rebounds, 12 assists, and still have 25 points? Like, It's a lack of appreciation, man. It's a lack of appreciation.
Yeah. Wrap us up, AC.
But thank you guys again for sticking with us and finishing out this episode. We are beyond stoked for the play-in game. Obviously, we got the East starting up tomorrow, and the West coming in again on Wednesday, and then we'll know we'll know by the end of Friday what the full seedings will look like. So we might do a midweek or a weekend wrap up as soon as we know, just before the playoffs start.
Yeah,
just
sure.
a quick episode for you guys. But thank you guys again for the support. Be sure to like, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, I guess follow the channel. Follow us to know when the new episodes come out. Get a little notification on YouTube. Turn your notifications on so you know when the new episodes come out. And then be sure to follow us at TCU Pod on Instagram because we also post there, and that's the best way to get in contact with us. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you again. Have a blessed week.